DC Multiverse!
Well, welcome back everybody to my channel. Today, we are going to be reviewing the Mcfarlane Toys DC Multiverse Collector's Edition Jonah Hex with Noble Steed, the General. And right off the bat, I want to say, guns are back, baby! Not only does Jonah Hex come with a cutlass sword, and a tomahawk, and a knife, but he also comes with a Western-style repeater and 2 revolvers. And of course, you can't have your revolvers unless you have a gun belt to put them in, so he comes with one of those too. And of course, he comes with a trading card. And this trading card obviously has a data file on the back, a beefy one. Feel free to pause your video to read that if you so decide to. And he also comes with a cloth goods duster, which we'll have a closer look at in just a moment. First though, I actually want to look at the horse. This thing is actually pretty cool. This is probably my favorite Mcfarlane horse that we've been given so far out of all of the Mcfarlane horsies. And remember, we not only have the collect-to-build horse from the Dark Knight Returns wave of action figures, but we also have Gunslinger Spawn's horse as well. They've done a really good job on the leather and on his pack that is sitting back here on the back of the horse. They've got the stirrups that look good. You've got your sheet that goes over top of the horse. Got a saddlebag on this side, more stirrups, the actual seat of the horse, the saddle itself. You've got some reins for Jonah Hex to grab onto here. And they look really cool. They're fitting nicely over the horse's face. If you have any questions as to whether or not these horses reuse any of the same pieces, I would say it doesn't look like it. Like, it really doesn't look like they reuse the same legs or the same torso. They definitely don't reuse the same head or neck. Their tails are completely different, and so are their back legs. The Dark Knight Returns horse actually has a beefier set of back legs in comparison to the smaller ones on Jonah Hex's horse. The saddles are completely different, so Jonah Hex's horse is actually completely different than the Batman horse. Now, another horse I'd like to compare this one to is the one from the Spawn Gunslinger action figure and horse 2-pack. While, as you can see, both of these horses actually have completely different saddles and saddlebags, and here's a top view. You can actually see that they're not the same. They might be similar in some areas, but they're not the same. They have different bedrolls. This side is also different with another saddlebag over here and just part of the bedroll down that side. And their harnesses that go over their face and the bits that go in their mouth are actually different. They're not the same sculpts. However, there are things about these horses that are similar. One being their hair sculpt, the sculpt of their manes. They're actually exactly the same as far as I can see. Even the hair that kind of goes over the horse's heads and around like that, you know, you got it so it sort of goes past one eye over here, and they have their other eye poking out over here. And their tails are the exact same sculpted pieces. And it can be kind of hard to see with their saddlebags in the way, but these are the exact same sculpts for these horses. They're the exact same body. Indeed, this is a clever and easy reuse. It makes sense that Todd isn't going to sculpt a whole new horse when he has one right here that he can just resaddle and redeco. And now we will move on to the figure. And the first thing you'll notice when you look at this guy, I don't think there is any reuse of parts with this guy. I don't think there is. I think that everything, as far as I can tell, is brand new, newly tooled details and body parts for this guy. And let's just look at his jacket first, the cloth goods jacket here, before we look at the rest of the figure. Not a bad looking jacket. You've got, they've like cut burned it so that it doesn't fray. This is sort of weird how at the very bottoms of his lapels it just kind of stops. And, you know, you got that fraying stuff. They're not fraying, but, you know, like flappy stuff that's a little messy looking, but, you know, it's okay. It's a cloth goods duster, so I'm not going to complain. I'd rather have this than a plastic duster on him for sure. And it's a nice fabric. It's a nice sort of soft fabric, and I'm glad they didn't go with a pleather, because this would have been really quite unruly if they went with a pleather. So just, I'm quickly going to take this off so we can get a better look at the actual figure. Yeah, this is cool. I believe that this is all newly sculpted parts for this guy. I mean, you've got his shirt with buttons here along the side. He's got his buttons down here. There's a nice texture to it. You can see his shirt underneath. And this shirt actually does have like a wash over top. So it's not just the one color that it's molded in, but they've actually added some paint detail to it. That's pretty cool. You've got his belt here. This is the first one that he comes with. He does have another one you've seen, but this is the one that comes on the body. You got that leather textured look to it, the big buckle. Would be cool if that had some kind of embellishment on it, but that's okay. And then you got the pants, which really have, you know, pardon me saying so, I guess, like, a pants texture. They do, they look like pants. And there's even some like kind of scuffs, like he's been wearing them for a while, so they're a little bit dirty. You've got his boots here that look really cool, and this whole figure has wash on it. It all has paint deco on the front and the back, and not so much. It's the usual thing where for some reason we don't get the same kind of paint details on the back of the figure as we do on the front. Not even the boots. I really want to see Todd's team make the decision to continue that on both sides of the figure. That would be swell. Of course, he comes with 2 trigger fingers, and why wouldn't he? He comes with 2 guns, so that is fantastic. Close-up of Jonah Hex's face here. Yeah, that looks good. They did a spot-on job. They got the hair right. They got the whole melted side of his face from that tomahawk. They did that correctly. They got the teeth sticking out the side, the bit that hangs over his mouth. His eyes look good. The paint looks good. Everything actually looks really, really well done from where I can sit. I think that they did a fantastic job. And his cowboy hat is nice too, because he's got more shading on the cowboy hat. There's more deco on that hat that he's wearing. So yeah, this is just a fantastic, fantastic looking figure. I like this very much. And I think he is a fairly well-articulated figure. He's also got a thigh cut. I'm going to go right to that. He's got himself a thigh cut, which you would want because he's going to ride a horse. So yes, he has that typical Mcfarlane groin, which if you didn't have the thigh cut, you really wouldn't get much of that motion, but he has the thigh cut, which I think that every figure should have. It just makes the articulation that much better. He's got articulation up here in the torso. He's got it down here in the waist, which actually makes for a pretty good range, all things considered. He's got the sockets. He's got those rounded hinges that his arms go up pretty nicely. He's got the 360s right here. He's got the doubles right there. You've got yourself the rounded hinge for the wrists. The head bobbles around, and it's not too bad. It goes down like that, so we can go and spit in the bucket on the floor. His head goes up about that, so, you know, if you want him to look up into the sky, he's going to have to look like that. And then you've got, yeah, a reasonable range of motion for him there. Moving back down here, though, he's got double jointed knees, and they both double joint quite nicely. And then you have that ankle with the rounded hinge that is also a pivot, and you have your toe articulation right there. Here's a close look at his gun belt, his holsters here. Got some bullets on them. This looks pretty good. I like this. And you got a little button here in the back. You have this thing here, this little nub, and that is so that you can take the belt off and put it on, just like the one that he is currently wearing. Again, you can just take this one off, and you can open up this little button-y-do and put the belt on just like that. Do up the little button on the back, and just pull it down over his gigantic buckle. There you go. He's wearing his gun belt. Revolvers look pretty good. Brown handle, silver gun, nothing out of the ordinary. Here's the repeater up close. Looks pretty good. You got the wooden stock. You got the repeater thing here you can pull down, load some bullets into the top. Yeah, not bad. They did a good job with this. Here's the cutlass up close. It, like every other Mcfarlane sword, is squishy. However, mine came in the package really, really straight, and sometimes the Mcfarlane swords don't come straight in the package. They're a little bit gishy, and you know, they're misformed. This is actually pretty good. Close-up look at the hilt there so you can see what he's grabbing onto. Here is the tomahawk up close. Yep, it's a tomahawk. Here is his knife. That is one heck of a buck knife. Got a white hilt. You can see that there when we look up close. Not just the same color as the blade. And I'm pretty sure that these belts are either or. Like, you don't have him wearing both at the same time. So you kind of take your pick. So here it is loaded up. I think the tomahawk goes in the back. You got the guns around here in each of the holsters. That looks pretty good. I think that the tomahawk goes in the back. Because when I pull it out, try to fit the knife in the back of this one, it doesn't really fit. I can squeeze it in there like that. And I know this doesn't fit in there, but that would be because this gun is actually supposed to be stored on the horse right there in that holster. My next question though is going to be, how well does he fit? Does he sit on his horsey? Let's find out together. There we have it. He is on the horse. Looks pretty darn good too. Feet in stirrups, reins in hand. Yeah. This is swell looking. This actually really works. Anyway, so yeah, that is my review of Jonah Hex with the General. I really like this 2-pack. If this color scheme doesn't float your boat, just know that there is also a Platinum Edition where the horse is white and Jonah Hex has more of a blue color scheme. I'm probably going to pick that one up as well because it looks fan-frickin-tastic. And I certainly think that this is worth adding to your Mcfarlane DC Multiverse action figure collection, for sure. Jonah Hex is a great character and this is a great value. Anyway, that's all from me, so have yourself a super awesome, fantastic DC day, and I will see you with the next one. Bye for now.